One Piece Films, a fantastic opportunity to showcase the world created by Akira Oda on the big screen. Throughout the lifetime of the series, no less than 13 films have been produced featuring the Straw Hat Pirates in one adventure or another. Of course, some films have turned out much better than others, so today we are going to examine the best of these cinematic endeavors. And with that out of the way, let's begin. Welcome to the top 5 best One Piece films. Number 5. Dead End Adventure. Coming in at number 5, we have the 4th entry into the One Piece film franchise, which featured the Straw Hats joining a life or death race. As far as plot goes, Dead End Adventure was fantastic for its time. The Straw Hats had never really embarked on anything like this before, and the ocean race provided an opportunity to open up the One Piece world in a way that's so rarely seen in most films, which tend to be isolated on a single island. The villain, Gus Parder, is also to be praised, as he provided a genuinely menacing and even terrifying presence throughout the feature. There was also the very intriguing and very cool side character of Shiraya, who was a rare example of a non-canon character that I actually quite liked. The animation was classically cool, the fights were wonderful, and the ever-changing setting kept me thoroughly engaged. There's not much more to say except that Dead End Adventure is a pretty damn great One Piece film. Number 4. Baron Omatsuri and the Secret Highland. I think it's fair to say that this movie is the biggest departure from the usual tone of the world of One Piece that we've ever seen. The animation style is incredibly bold and dominant, which does take a bit of getting used to, but it's much more expressive than any other style we've seen. And while it may not be the perfect fit for the One Piece world, it certainly works here. This feature also happens to be the darkest of the series, focusing on turning the Straw Hats against one another by capitalizing on their natural personality flaws, which to me is an incredibly intriguing idea. So while the main villain may not be particularly strong, he isn't really needed for much of the film. And that is a huge credit to the project, to be able to stand on its own through the internal relationships of our protagonists. Of course, there's plenty of amazing scenes as well, such as Sanji's chef battle, capturing the giant goldfish, and the entirety of the fight between Luffy and the Baron. It's a film that is burnt into my memory entirely because of unique choices made by the production team, and it's certainly well worth a watch for any One Piece fan. Number 3. Strong World. I don't think the top 3 on this list are going to be any particular surprise, but you know what, their order might be. Strong World was the first film in the series to be overseen by Akira Oda, and that presence is immediately felt. Upon its release, Strong World stood out from every other film in the franchise by doing what Oda does best, creating a wonderfully imaginative setting using quirky yet fearsome villains and utilizing the Straw Hats to their fullest. The animation, while not as bold as Baron Omatsuri, is stylistic enough, but also, I think it's a perfect fit for One Piece. Strong World really was the first feature to showcase the true potential of One Piece in the cinematic world, and it is an immensely enjoyable watch. What really holds it back from being any higher on this list is simply pacing issues. It's a long movie, and when you're in the middle hour or so, it feels like you're never going to get anywhere. With that said, it's still a great film, particularly for newcomers to the series. Number 2. Film Gold. The latest entry in the One Piece film franchise easily secures the number 2 spot by building a visual feast of a world for our characters to play in. Gran Tesoro and Entertainment City is a never-ending buffet of detail, adventure, and intrigue. It's also One Piece like we've never seen it before, as it takes on the feel of a heist film, prioritizing stealth and cunning in a world that usually consists of Luffy just bursting into a place and picking a fight with whoever he's upset with. The villains are great. I mean, Tesoro himself might be lacking a bit of depth, and perhaps be just that little bit too similar to Doflamingo for my liking, but he is certainly intimidating, and his final fight against Luffy is one of the best battles I've ever seen put to screen. All in all, Film Gold is just really fun to watch, and in the end, what more can you ask from a One Piece film? Well, we're about to find out. Number 1. Film Z. While every other film in this franchise acts as sort of a gateway to new fans, Film Z is the feature that longtime readers and watchers of One Piece were waiting for. It's the first and arguably only film that makes decent use of the extended character pool available in the world, primarily through the Marines. But what this movie really has going for it is the main villain, Zed. He is unlike any other movie villain before him in that he is both detestable and sympathetic at the same time. He is a twisted hero trying to do what he believes is right for the world, and his eventual defeat and subsequent death are nothing less than a Shakespearean-level tragedy. As with Strong World and Film Gold, Film Z's animation is 100% on point, and it makes perfect use of the Straw Hats, with the added bonus of heavily featuring other amazing characters like Kuzan and Kizaru. It's a pretty serious feature, accented beautifully by select moments of comedy with a simple story, yet incredibly intriguing and engaging character interactions. And you know what? I have nothing else to say except that Film Z should be mandatory viewing for every fan of One Piece. And that about does it for the top 5 best One Piece films. If you enjoyed this video, then feel free to like, favorite, or subscribe, and please do comment with your personal top 5 best One Piece films. This has been the Grand Line Review, and I'll see you next time.